Certain nations in my mind have their own little niche that they fit into the puzzle that's in my head. Like, I usually associate Canada with the cartoons they used to pump out that I remember fondly from childhood, like 16, Totally Spies, or The Secret Saturdays. Mexico, as far as I'm concerned, has great horror stories, like La Llorona or The Isle of the Dolls. In Japan, well, Japan's got the weird shit. If you ever saw my last retro rematch about Muscle March, then you would already know that as you saw big muscly ass cheeks on the screen, courtesy of Bandai Namco, by the way. Well, today's game is no different. Imagine, if you will, Fabio wearing nothing but jeans and some shoes. Stop being horny! Now, imagine Big G up in the sky comes down to Fabio and he's all like, "Fabio, my second son, your world has been so fucking whack that me and the fellas in the boardroom were hashing it out, and we decided on a solution."
Yes, Roy, I am growing stronger.
"No, my son, you see, my servants in heaven have been totally not cool and they jacked my shit. My wisdom, if you catch my drift."
My muscles. Now it's time to pump. Yes, stronger. Yes.
Come on, Fabio, you really don't. I mean, what else could I mean by that? I even put up these quote figures. Isn't that what y'all do when you're trying to lay down a double whatever. Point is, these angels have taken something that they shouldn't have, Fabio, and now they're reselling it to all your fellow humans down on Earth. And believe you me, there have been some consequences. Let's just say, your people cannot hang with the way I roll my shit.
The muscles. My muscles. Oh, yes, I am.
What? No, I don't lace my shit. Hey, wait! So you did get it the first time? Ugh. You're so annoying. Whatever, I gotta hurry up and get this over with. The video's intro is taking too long.
My muscles.
Look, son, track down the angels who have stolen from me, your heavenly father, and save the human race. If you can't do me this one solid, then the world is going to be real liquid. You feel me? And it's in that premise that we get El Shaddai, Ascension of the Metatron, the weirdest game that I played on my cousin's Xbox. Shaddai released in 2011, and it was published by a now defunct company called UTV Ignition Games and developed by its Tokyo division. The story goes like this. Also, sorry if I butcher any names. VJ Chadha is a big fan of Sawaki Takayasu, an artist recently gone freelance after working at Capcom with stuff like Devil May Cry or Okami. He visits Takayasu in Japan and pitches to him a game based around a religious text called the Book of Enoch that UTV's UK offices recently came up with. Takayasu likes the idea of the game, and they get to work after confirming funding from UTV's Indian division. That was in 2007. Years later, in 2011, a quote-unquote half-finished, at least by Takayasu's standards, game was released. El Shaddai sold decently well, but, not well enough to keep the franchise going enough to satisfy the grand schemes that UTV apparently had for it. According to Wikipedia, there was a co-op dungeon crawling game that was only known as El Shaddai Social Game, where players would be angels working together. And El Shaddai's universe technically continued in a dungeon-crawling JRPG called The Lost Child, which released in 2017 in Japan, 2018 everywhere else on the Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, and the PlayStation Vita. It's off the market due to what Wikipedia calls publisher conflicts. I played it considering making a video on it, but I'll be honest with you, I fucking hated playing it. Maybe one day I'll go back to it, but I doubt it. I'm not being unironic. Anyways, besides games, UTV also invested in the brand of El Shaddai by partnering with Bandai Namco to make figurines. And they also partnered with this jeans company I've never heard of called Edwin to make, what else? Jeans based off the ones that characters wear in the game. There was even light novels and manga written for El Shaddai. And even in Takeyasu's modern day studio Cream? I'm gonna say Cream because there's a little flan guy. They still reference El Shaddai in their newer games like Star Knot. As you can tell, there was a grand dream here. A dream that isn't dead quite yet. A dream that I'm revisiting for today's episode of Retrospective Rematch. A series where I go back to games that I couldn't beat or finish as a kid for one reason or another, and I guide them from backlog hell to the promised land. The game starts with you playing as Fabio, real name Enoch, duh, Book of Enoch. Enoch here is the clerk of heaven, and as I mentioned earlier, tasked with the salvation of humanity by chasing the fallen angels known as the Grigori. Enoch has to bring the fallen angels back to God after they stole God's wisdom. Side note, everything I say is as the game presents it, more or less. I'm not an expert on the Book of Enoch, nor religion in general, and I'm not going to pretend to be.
I'm just a normal guy.
Anyways, here you are with Lucifer. No, not Lucifer, Lucifel. While he's wearing some casual yet stylish modern clothing, he is quite impressive. And then there's you with some rather ancient looking Centurion armor. Centurion armor that I lose nearly immediately in the next 10 seconds. Meet Azazel. He's one of the Grigori we're chasing, and as you can see, he demonstrated one of the game's mechanics that we're going to be seeing a lot. Because, as you can see...
Don't give up. Keep moving. Don't give up. Keep moving. Don't give up. Keep moving.
I'm not good at this game. But it's okay because this game is literally baby's first Nier or Devil May Cry. Like yeah, you're throwing people into the air and slamming their head down onto the concrete. But if you ever somehow lose sight of power in Power Fantasy and just get your ass beat, you can mash the buttons on your controller and just get back up. It's really forgiving. And every time you do, Enoch hits you with his iconic catchphrase.
No problem. Everything's fine. No problem. Everything's fine.
Bro, this combat is like whatever. What? Okay, I guess this is the real intro. Lucifer comes to Enoch's room where Enoch has been writing a bunch of stuff. What stuff? I don't know. Lucifer snaps his fingers. He does this a lot. And Enoch armors up. And by armors up, I mean he gets wrapped up in ceramic like a schizophrenic wearing level 4 plates. After that, we get dropped into what I like to call the hallway segment. There's a good amount of these in the game where you just walk forward while people talk at you. And what's being talked at you? Lucifer says a line about how the tools and weapons that humans use are based off of God's wisdom. Wisdom that they themselves could never gain. We'll bring this point up again in a bit. We beat up these shadow people for loitering, and before I can really lay into them like rich people laying into those poorer than them, Lucifer interrupts us and gives us Guys, it's the weapon from the cover art. It looks like a lightsaber mixed with that weird dueling thing from Star Trek. It's got serrated beam teeth. It's so mid. Genuinely, out of the 3 weapons you can get throughout this game, the Arch, which is what it's called, is smack dab in the middle for me. I just didn't really like the way it played. We beat up the Loiterers, and then Lucifer dumps onto us lore.
It was only when various shards of God's wisdom were stolen that Semyaza's betrayal was uncovered. But by then, he, together with the Grigori he led, had already fled.
The Archangels are following us on our journey, and they've taken the form of swans. Gabriel, Michael, Gael, Uriel, and Raphael. Besides adding commentary, they don't really do much. I have a suspicion that if we read the light novels and the manga, then they would play like a bigger role. But so far here in the game, there's only really one that, you know, is super important, but we'll get to that when we get to that. We've already covered that we're chasing after fallen angels, but this giant hand that we're standing on is meant to be the prison for them. It's got these shackles called Michael's rings, but we're on a hand, bro. Just fucking... you know? Just fucking grip them. Anyways. Opening these shackles, Lucifer has some lines about each angel.
Barakel, may this be the place he dies. Semyaza, you know the boss. Used to be an elder on the council. Arakiel, we can't let him live out his days on Earth. Sariel, don't let his idea of love fool you. Armoros, good luck getting him to repent. Ezekiel, she talks of love, but doesn't know the meaning. Azazel, leader of the Grigori, and Semyaza's right-hand man.
By the by, these ain't what the fallen angels look like. I know. Semi-interesting designs, yeah, but their real forms are boring later. Each of the fallen angels we'll meet just mostly look human, so kind of wasted potential there. Weird creatures descend onto us, and it's finally time to lay out some holy ass whooping. We're introduced to flames of power, which for now mean fucking nothing. These are tied to the only unlockable ability later on, but again, for now, they're only here so your gamer lizard brain has something to collect. It's kind of like that joke about people jingling keys, and it's like Markiplier fucking is like, the back rooms? Jingle, jingle,
pay
jingle.
attention.
You know what I'm talking about? Anyways, we land on Earth in a somewhat Arctic glass kingdom Aurora Borealis type of vibe. Don't get used to it. While the other levels look as artsy as this is the only time, besides one other level, where things in this game look somewhat natural and familiar to, like, human life. It's in this level that we're introduced to one of the other mechanics you'll see me doing a lot. It's called purification. See, the more that you whoop ass in this game, the more dookie flakes get stuck on your weapon, making it not only smell, but also work less effectively. So to keep your damage numbers the same, you gotta keep cleaning your weapon. While we're at explaining stuff about weapons, strap in class, it's time for a ramble. Retro Ramble! So, there's only 3 weapons, and they all serve their own purpose. By holding right trigger plus A, you can do that weapon's special move. For the Arch and the ranged weapon that we're going to see later on, this is mobility. For the last weapon, it's kind of not, it's more like a sidestep. You'll see when we get there. As for a launcher move, you do that with right trigger and the X button. As far as I know, there are 4 movesets with each weapon. You get your regular moveset, your counter hit moveset, your guard break moveset, and the moveset you do in the midair. Take a shot for every time I said moveset and promptly die of alcohol poisoning. Ramble over. We see Lucifer talking to God, and this is how the game explains away saving your game. It's Lucifer reporting your progress to the big guy upstairs. As we progress, the angels tell us that the sky we're seeing right now is a false one. It was created by the fallen angels as a way to not only try to hide from God, but to hide the humans on Earth from God. Remember what I said about God's wisdom and how we'll get back to it? Well, the game tells us that the reason why God and the Council of Elders, whoever the fuck those are, want to flood the Earth is because the fallen angels took God's wisdom,
Still with me?
and have used it in each of their realms to perform, and imagine two big ol' air quotes when I say this, their own personal evolution on the humans, thus leading them away from God. I think. Oh look, there's one now.
Enoch, what brings you? So heaven is in an unforgiving mood. No matter. We are already in a better position than we ever were.
Side note, the people who voice acted for this game did a great job. I don't think there's any goofy lines in here I can make fun of really, but I will admit I did get tired of hearing Enoch's iconic catchphrase, but that's only because, again, I'm not good at the game. Anyways, we go through this door and watch as Enoch's hunt for the fallen angels take 336 years? God damn, Enoch, what were you doing?
Whoa, pipe down, Simmer. That's my man's right there. He was busy looking for and getting hunted by the Grigori, okay? It takes a while when they're literally invisible.
They're invisible?
You'll see.
We fight Azazel again and it ends how you expect.
Don't give up. Keep moving.
After that, we're introduced to yet another mechanic you'll see me doing a lot in this game. Stealing. See, sometimes you'll want a different weapon, or maybe yours broke or is about to break, so you steal a weapon from an enemy. This is like the majority of the time where you'll be getting your weapons. Besides, like later on parts, you can just pick them up from like these floating orbs. Anyways, it brought to me a certain dilemma while I was writing this script and thinking this shit out. Is it really stealing if we're taking it back for God? Is it really a sin if it's committed in the name of God? Never mind. Hey look, it's a tower. After 336 years, Enoch has finally found...
That's not the tower.
What?
That's not the tower. That's the tower. Like I said, invisible. The angels were hiding from me and Enoch behind that false sky and tower.
How did you know that if they were invisible to you? If you knew that, why would you send Enoch then?
I know everything, dumb fuck.
Well, that was rude. Anyways, welcome to the tower. This is where the fallen angels rule over the humans, trying to influence the humans into their own separate but united in being fucked up evolution. Each angel has their own floor we gotta visit to bring them back to heaven. As you can see, the tower looks pretty freaky with its colors and its giant red eyes. Get used to this type of theming because for each floor, it's only gonna get more artsy. Well, again, except for one. We'll get there when we get there. For now, we are practically walking through paintings. It's pretty nice actually, and despite all the fighting, it's kinda relaxing. Good lord! What?
Enoch, you do have the strangest pets. Okay, here's the deal.
Okay.
See these little things? They're called gales, weapons made from God's wisdom, just like arches. They'll be a little harder to steal. First, you'll need to get in close.
These little triangle projectiles and this halo on your back are the second weapons that you can get in the game, and they're called gales. Gales are my least favorite, and besides this fight, I tried my best to never use them. Now, if your name is Gale, I'm sure that you're a fine person, okay? You're probably just as boring as these weapons. The Gales are the only ranged weapon, and they're just not fun to me. Stand in place and shoot, dash around and shoot. That's all you can do with these. It's boring. I don't know if I'd call these two a boss fight, but they did whoop my ass. But hey, the animation for purifying these things is pretty cool. We beat up the wannabe fighter jets and continue on until we meet the fallen angel named Sariel. Sariel is described in game as being a little bit of a lover boy, a fuck boy, if you will. He has multiple concubines, and he claims that
human love is a source of unlimited power. I descended from heaven to find that love. That is why I must fight you, even though you come in the name of the Lord.
So we fight him, and it ends the way you think.
Don't give up. Keep moving.
After we get our ass whooped, the game tells us that our quote-unquote soul is under attack. Side note, the game describes a bunch of shit like this that just doesn't happen. The blue apples of God's wisdom that you're not supposed to let enemies be near, the flames of power that are implied to level you up, and now this. And it makes me think that despite El Shaddai being, in my opinion, an okay game, it was supposed to be at least, I don't know, good. Like, if you put a gun to my head and said rate the game right now, I would say 6 out of 10. But if it had all the features that I imagine Takayasu wanted, it would be an 8 probably. The story is kinda empty feeling as a consequence of this, and the gameplay is basic and repetitive. Again, Sawaki described his own game as unfinished, so obviously that means there's a bunch of cut content that we could have seen. Maybe in another world, El Shaddai would have been more fondly remembered like, I don't know, the classic God of Wars, Dante's Inferno, or Devil May Cry. It's just a shame. It definitely has the art style to stand out. Even after all these years passing by, it's the one thing that's stuck in my head. Getting back to it, we see the Grigori appear before us, kind of a rogues gallery trying to intimidate the hero situation.
You of all people can envision the future of the tower. How it will evolve.
Tell me, boy, have you never lifted anything heavier than a pen?
Are you ready for what's next? See this little jello child? What do you think this is besides being a mascot for the flan in the Japanese 7-Eleven? Pretty good guess. Wrong, though. You're wrong and you're stupid. Leave a like, please. I didn't mean it, baby. This is a Nephilim. Yes, a Nephilim, the result of angels making a bed all gushy, mushy, messy with a human. Cute, ain't it? Huh.
You could clear this in 7 hours, if you're good enough.
Let's see, do the math real quick. 7 hours and 25 minutes. Well, shit. Mom was right. I am not good enough. Anyways, we followed the Nephilim into the tower and were greeted by human-made murals of the archangels. All in all, pretty nice break from the action to just look at good art. I don't even have anything funny to say. It's just relaxing in here. The first angel floor we're to explore, bars, is Ezekiel's. Ezekiel's floor has this watercolor type of theming to it that I rather like. Besides the enemies that will try to beat your perfectly sculpted ass, there are the ghosts of the women that the angels have quote-unquote beloved that will try to stun you. As far as I remember, they're not in every level, and I don't think they were super annoying. Who the fuck was that? We'll get to her in a bit, as she's important to the story. Even though this is Ezekiel's floor, our number one op, Azazel, is here to fight us. Side note, I do like the enemy's armor design and how their head slides back when the big eye helmet gets put on. I'm a sucker for suit-up shit. My favorite game series, at least in horror gaming, is Dead Space, so... Anyway, the fight goes how it always does.
It's time you learned your place.
Like, am I supposed to get my ass whooped, or am I just bad at the fucking game, dude? Like, which is it? Oh, great. After losing yet another fight, we walk through more of the watercolors as the archangels tell us about Ezekiel. Like Sariel, Ezekiel is obsessed with things outside of heaven, specifically the human's world of nature and animals. And you can kinda see it in her floor. The way that there's, trees, clouds, and other fauna. But as you can see, it's all still painted and artificial. There's love for nature here, but it's in a twisted sense where Ezekiel only shows off her specific vision of nature. And I'm assuming that's what the archangels mean when they say, quote unquote, an obsession that will destroy the very world that she loves.
At last, the final weapon. That's a veil. Go on, take it.
Finally! The one weapon in the game I truly fuck with. A shield that's also fist. I need this shit injected into my veins. I need this in more games. I don't know if I've said this on the channel, but one of my favorite franchises ever is Yakuza, or Like a Dragon. You already fucking know what's going on. No mobility, but who needs that when you can beat the brakes off of anyone? Anyone! If Tiger Drop was in this bitch, ooh, it'd be so over.
Almost lost my cool there.
So after getting the veil, we fight Sariel again, who this time shows off his face. And this is how you know the Veil's good. That was the first fight I've had with a fallen angel that didn't end with me getting my ass whooped.
Holy shit, I finally broke their armor.
Impossible.
Congratulations! 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 Congratulations!
Congratulations.
Congratulations!
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
The little girl on the Nephilim shows up and guides us. Her name is Nana, and she teaches us that although the Nephilim are cute looking, they are so fucking sad and bored with their lives that they eat each other until they get to this huge scary form that endangers both the tower and the humans. These motherfuckers pull a cell from Dragon Ball and just explode when they're unsatisfied.
You're Enoch, right? My name's Nana. Sin told me all about you. You're here to help the Nephilim, right? They're always in so much pain, and always so sad, and they're like that forever. Left on their own, they eat each other and get bigger and bigger until they burst into flames. Not even Ishtar could help them, and she was famous. She tried, but they say in the end, she burned up with them. But you're going to bring Ishtar back, aren't you?
Anyway, this fuck-ass rhino thing bashes us after Nana tells us about Ishtar, a famous woman in this world who is trying to help the Nephilim, but she died trying. Another objective has been put onto Enoch: resurrect Ishtar and prevent the Nephilim from
I feel like this is about to piss me off.
Past me was right. This boss fight, although simple, infuriated me. You gotta make these two stupid edgelord rhinos bash each other to get hits in, but I thought it was fucking stupid because their roar does damage. So when I was laying into them, desperate to get it over with because, I'll be honest, it's not a fun fight, the hitbox of the roar is so fucking large that even when I was smart enough to try and get away, I still got hit. Not counting this weird random moment where Enoch just fucking died. I guess he had a heart attack. They also include this weird mechanic called the Eyes of Truth, where this fucking visor, making me think of that guy from Star Trek, tells you when you're in a state of advantage or not. This feels like those things in other games where a big aura appears over your head when you're about to get hit. After what feels like forever, I finally beat these stupid rhino... Wait a minute. They were pigs? Whatever, I beat these stupid pigs.
Wait! No, please, I'm a taxpayer!
After the fight, we move on to Sariel's floor, and... Why am I thought I was gonna lock them up. Do I lock them up later? I don't get this shit, man. It's just kind of fucking annoying, I think. And yeah, I was a bit thrown off. I thought the game was going to be traditional in the sense where you get to the end of the level and then you beat the boss at the end of the level, you know? But as you can see, what the fuck? This game is anything but traditional. There wasn't even a warning to this wacky shit. I take a right off the path and suddenly I'm just here.
The
Now, is there a point to this room? Yeah, kinda. Here we see Sariel's beloved, human souls that simped so hard for Sariel that they're protecting him even in death. Imagine trusting in your lover so dearly, so lovingly as a relationship is meant to be. And then when you fucking die, you see their face again, and they're like, oh, by the way, I was cheating on you with like 50 other chicks. Isn't that fucked up? That's kind of terrifying.
Can't believe this game is making me biblically beat women.
God, when does this fucking end? Oh, I guess it ends now. So we fight Sariel again. What? I don't get these. I don't get these fucking like random ass boss fights because it feels like it's not the official fight, and then. Oh my god, this shit is so fucking frustrating. You know, it was at this point where I was feeling frustrated with the game. Overall, enemies in fights felt like they had hyper armor or sponge health sometimes, making every fight take, at least in my opinion, just a little bit too long. The boss fights were diffing me, and I'm not the biggest fan of platformers. It would culminate in crash outs like these. Out my fucking way! Oh my fucking god! I look like fucking Helmeppo from goddamn One Piece. Fuck! I don't get the game. I don't think this game is for me. I can appreciate the art style, and the combat is fun, but I don't fucking get, like, the progression here, dude. I get jumped by the fucking enemies, and then it's like, even when I beat them, it's not really over.
What are you doing?
Can you shut the fuck up?
By striking it.
Oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me. You're telling me I gotta hit these? I guess the pattern of Sariel's floor is fight my fuck-ass kids, then fight me, fight my kids, fight my wives, now fight regular people, now fight me. It's whatever. The Nephilim are cute, I'll admit, but this section was buns! This shit can't get any worse. Oh, it's Ezekiel. Oh, it got worse. As you can see, the veil gets me through this fight, and then Ezekiel just dips. I don't know where she goes. After suffering for a bit, I start thinking about the Nephilim and how fucked up it is that Sariel not only abuses his lovers, but he's being negligent with his kids. Fucking worst dad of the millennia? Because, again, remember, Nana and the angels have told us that the Nephilim just straight up fucking eat each other and then explode. Sariel has to know about this shit because he's one of the Grigori, the leaders of this dumbass blasphemous tower. It's just fucked up. I feel like I'm fucking climbing up someone's tribal tattoo.
You're going to.
As you can see, the game's making me... Ain't no way I'm getting fucking pieced up by a purple dude, bro. Is that the man behind the slaughter? The man behind the slaughter. Tweak.
Well.
I swear to God, if you bait and switch me and you're like, actually, you don't get to beat this guy, I'm gonna be so fucking mad.
Do you hear that? My people calling to me.
Yeah, whatever you say, rip off David Bowie. Oh, I thought that was his hair. That's like coming out of his back. Ew.
So be it.
Oh my god. Is this like a second phase?
So long as I can protect this world.
were never human. You're an angel. What are you talking about?
After finally developing my frontal lobe, I get Sariel to his second phase where he turns into this thing. I was too angry about it at the time of playing, but looking back at the recording, I do want to give the game props with its theming. I noticed that here in Sariel's stage, that's the one thing that El Shaddai nails right here and then. I think it's really cool that we're fighting in this lovely area that has bright blues and whites with statues of women all around us. But when Sariel is driven into a corner, being confronted by the fact that he, an angel, is losing to a human sent by God, he destroys the women's statues while saying he's going to protect the world. Mind you, this is the same guy who, again, has a bunch of Jello flan kids that are walking plastic explosives laced with despair and napalm. Like, visually, it's a cool way to get the message across to the player that, you know, this guy over here is an asshole. Now back to the game's bullshit. Lucifer stops time and talks about an archangel who's going to teach us a bunch of new abilities. And let me shut that shit up, Chief. Let me stop it right then and there. It's only one. It's only one new ability. Do you remember what I said earlier? We're introduced to Flames of Power, which for now mean fucking nothing. These are tied to the only unlockable ability later on, but again, for now, they're only here so your gamer lizard brain has something to collect. It's kind of like that joke about people jingling keys and things. Like Markiplier fucking is like, the back room?
Jingle, pay attention.
You know what I'm talking about? Anyways. Yeah, this is the one and only unlockable ability in El Shaddai. Let's reintroduce Uriel, who has no fucking legs and looks like a motherfucking JoJo stand. He's one of the archangels that's been following us around in case you don't remember. Once you collect enough of those big red orbs, Uriel will appear in your ear whispering, "Let me help." And then you can summon him to get yourself a damage buff and also get all your armor back. He also helps you extend your movesets. Again, like a JoJo stand, you'll punch someone and he'll be there to fucking follow it up. It's pretty cool, I'm not even gonna lie. Oh, and Uriel gives you what the game calls boost skills, which immediately end your JoJo phase with a big cinematic attack. Anyways, the fight feels weird as I don't understand when to attack or how to avoid certain attacks that Sariel does, but with Uriel's help, me using him as a crutch, I'm gonna be honest, we defeat Sariel. I struggled for a bit, but again, using the Veil and Uriel, I got through. Side note, a weird detail I noticed looking back in the footage is that Sariel will say something, but his subtitles will not match it. I don't know if the game's subtitles are set to what the Japanese version says or what, but you know, it kind of bothered me. So Sariel gets heavened up as his ghostly inputs fade away along with all of his Nephilim. I think the game wanted us to feel just a little bit bad as Sariel's all like, "Oh, my love wasn't enough," but I don't. Fuck this guy. I'm glad that out of the fallen angels, he's the first one that I mopped up, finally. And all it took was Uriel sliding for me. The next part involves us going to Barakel's floor and fighting the Nephilim. The game's been talking about them being cannibals, but this guy, Sin, who's like the leader of the resistance against the fallen angels, is telling us that the Nephilim not only eat each other, but fallen angels and humans too. Varied diet. One of the archangels say that if the Nephilim didn't exist, the council up in heaven would have never considered the flood, which I guess shows you how dangerous these guys are, these little Jello C4 motherfuckers. So we platform and beat people up until we fight Ezekiel again. We beat her with the Veil, your boy is finally winning some of these fights, and again Ezekiel leaves. I'm sure we could name a few other games that do this thing where the boss shows up and you fight and then they leave. But I don't know, bro, it's really annoying to me in this game. We get more cool visuals, platform some, and then fight grunts. After that, Azazel shows up. I wonder if Ezekiel snitched on me. We beat Azazel, who also runs away, and then get to this place that reminds me a little bit of Farum Azula from Elden Ring. Here's where we get to the only bit where the emulation was screwing up. Also, yeah, I forgot to say, I'm not on original hardware just like every other video I have. Sorry, Takayasu, I didn't buy El Shaddai, but if it helps, my cousin bought it when I was young. That's the whole reason I'm doing this video. So, I'm not, I don't know. Fucking, that was awkward. I'm gonna keep that in though. The Fire Nephilim boss was just okay. It was only a little bit annoying. The only thing that was really fucking annoying was Jumbo's disappearing act. Sometimes when he lands down in this specific section, he would just disappear. In fact, everything would disappear, sound and all. And I entirely believe that's the emulation fucking up. The only reason why I know something's happening is because my controller is rumbling. That's the only way I know it's happening. After what feels like an eternity of fighting, we get swallowed up by the Nephilim and a bunch of shit happens. We meet a Nephilim looking thing called We meet a Nephilim looking thing called Methuselah? There we go, Methuselah. And then this Sita building comes in and... What? I don't even know. I don't even know. I feel like this would be like really cool and awesome. I mean, it is cool to look at. But I feel like this would be better if I actually knew what the fuck
Was that the power of
like
God?
is going on. Instead, I got a blonde motherfucker Fabio looking some bitch with a goddamn Levi jean pair of jeans. I don't know. I dare you to explain this shit. Lucifer doesn't even know, but he puts 2 and 2 together, concluding that Barrico just let himself get eaten by his own Nephilim. Why? I don't fucking know. Next floor is Azazel's. Now, remember how earlier when I was describing the art direction and the level design, I kept saying except for like one level that's like different? Something like that? There's been watercolors and paint strokes with everything feeling like you're walking through a painting canvas.
Don't push your luck, Enoch. There are still things you have yet to witness.
What the fuck?
The potential of humans is unlimited. Their evolution
like a
progresses
modern
faster
city.
than even God could imagine. What have you to say of this new world? Nothing. Know that people welcome this evolution. Know that they revel in their new world.
Azazel says fuck art. Fuck nature. Only jungle we like around these parts is the concrete one. Yeah, back in the biblical times, Azazel foresaw humanity's capitalistic dystopian future with all of its technology and said, type shit. Now, you might be thinking, since this game is a beat 'em up, are you going to be still doing that but everyone's wearing a suit or like modern clothing like in Yakuza? Azazel says, fuck Yakuza. Fuck like a dragon. We ain't doing that shit. You know what's fucking rad? You know what humanity's full potential is? Mecha bugs, motherfucker. Hell yeah. And you know what makes me, Katamari, say hell yeah? Cool sci-fi armor. Now, if anyone in the comments knows why we're suddenly riding a motorcycle beating up people in a game based off... One second. The Apocalyptic Book of Enoch, let me know. I guess with what little I've been given from Azazel, it could be that he focused so much on advancement as a way to justify his leaving of heaven. Like, how could I be wrong if my vision of humanity's evolution has them living in sprawling tech cities with like massive highways and shit? But in his very short-sighted view, he misses what these types of places will do to people who are forced to live in it. I'm talking about literally every problematic celebrity you can think of. But then again, I guess you could chalk it up to that weird era in gaming where you have a status quo of what the game is, and then suddenly it gets switched up. Like the Simpsons game, which I did a video on this channel, having suddenly a Dance Dance Revolution ripoff segment, the Chicken Little tie-in game having a DDR ripoff, or the Mario and Luigi games having a DDR ripoff segment.
Wait a minute!
It's short and sweet, and the motorcycle controls only felt kinda bad. All we really do is ride and enjoy the sights. I think you would have to try to fail the driving segment in order to fuck up here. That's how easy it is. After blowing up one of Azazel's Big Bug's trademark, Enoch does some aura farming.
The road just crashed out, literally. This is some like Kamen Rider shit. This is some Power Ranger shit for real. Who knew God had Power Rangers? I suppose God always had Power Rangers, didn't he? Whatever. Oh my god, he's so cool. Holy shit, guys. Guys, did you know this fucker has sex? Oh my bad, this is a religious game. Did you know this guy abstains from sex because it's the coolest thing you can do? But we have to defeat the other of Azazel's Big Bug's trademark. Battle Reel? Bato Ryle? I don't know how you pronounce it, but this guy is only vulnerable to one weapon type at a time. So, yes, I have to give up my big fucking Hulk fizz in exchange for some lame-ass Nerf darts and Spirit Halloween Pirate Sword bullshit just to be able to do damage. But Mom, I want my fucking Hulk hands. I can't do anything in this house. Anyways, the boss fight is somewhat boring. It's just punching this guy and then waiting for his weakness to change into something else.
Yes, I am growing stronger.
Yeah, but those games are fun.
My muscles are getting bigger.
Well, that was rude. After the fight, Lucifer tells us that we're halfway up the tower. Wait, halfway?
Fuck.
Next floor is Amaras's floor. All Lucifer tells us about him is that he thinks we're his friend. His level is very, very blue. Kind of overwhelmingly blue. I'm talking type shit. Anyway, from what the Archangels tell us, Armoros is the angel that Enoch would tell stories to, and since Enoch is a human, he told them stories of Earth. Armoros, it would seem, left heaven and betrayed God for reasons similar to Ezekiel or Sariel. Humans are cool, and God is apparently whack as fuck. Do you think Armoros saw God bumping MGK and Drake and thought, yeah, alright, and then left? I wouldn't blame him. We walk around and find out we're merman.
Yeah, we're underwater now.
At this point, who cares if we're underwater? We've got Enoch here, a man born in times of uncomfortable sandals and camels being the semi-trucks of the time. He has witnessed technology beyond his wildest dreams in his Azazel's floor, and he's not even fazed by it. Why should we be surprised that we can just breathe underwater? It looks like anything can go in the fucking tower, who cares? Anyways, Azazel shows up, assumably mad that we destroyed his Azazel's Big Bug's trademark. He has new moves, but we beat his ass and he hits us with the Immortal Special.
I'll finish you next time.
Same as it ever was.
Same as it ever was. Same as it ever was.
We keep walking until we see two giant sea creatures. Armoros' Nephilim, which looks like a jellyfish, and according to this note, is peaceful. And we also see this big fat fucking ugly whale.
Why the fuck would you have a Frogger section in your fucking game? Who fucking likes Frogger? Why is it so hard to kill one fucking dude? Your combat is not this fucking fun to be doing this stupid shit. God, dude. Like, fuck off with this. Your combat is not this fucking fun to be doing this for a fucking marathon, man. I gotta take a break. Right now, I fucking hate this game. Perfect timing.
As you can obviously see, El Shaddai was making me feel pretty bad-eye.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks! Sounds like
I made my family disappear. Can I hurry, Mrs.
Sounds like a lot.
Maybe I could love myself.
My friend. Oh, brother!
Congratulations! Congratulations.
This guy.
I am me. I am.
Sounds like a lot of hoopla.
I want to continue existing in this world. My life is worth living here.
Congratulations.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Talk about a warm welcome. Now he's acting like your friends.
Okay, so remember that one guy who screamed at us during the Rogues Gallery thing? That was Armoros. Armoros just fucking screams at people, I guess. This next part, I could never explain to you, so I'm just gonna let it play out.
Huh. He's not wearing that stupid eye bullshit that they're fucking, that everybody else is. Or is he? Oh, okay. I guess that wasn't his hair. Kind of reminds me of that character from Bleach. Oh man, I forgot his name. He was goated though. Damn, the swag. The aura. Michael Jackson reference? Or maybe another pop star, I don't know. Oh, okay. Hello? Do I hit
Given
you?
the circumstances, it would be rude not to fight him.
Oh damn, he's right up in my screen. I can't fucking see. Is this the game telling me I gotta hit him? Where's he at? I thought he was like invincible. Can I hit him? These dancing guys are, I'm not gonna lie, this is pretty fucking funny. Can I hit him? Okay. Am I hitting him? I'm so confused. Do I gotta keep beating his people over here? You know, this is very funny, but I'm starting to get fucking annoyed. I legit just can't fucking hit him. I wonder why he's not wearing the eye like armor. Damn, he really is busting it to the fuck down. Oh, 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 oh.
What's up, Armoros? Forget to pay your bill?
What happened? Oh, is he now wearing the eye armor? Dude, that shit. Nah, where your other shit, bro? That was like way more swagalicious. This is. I'm not gonna lie, the eye armor's pretty cool, but I like the other outfit better. Alright, let's fight.
Aha, just changing outfits.
After that whole dance section that was kind of fourth wall breaking, the real fight begins. I don't know what was different between Armoros' fight and the other fallen angels, but it was more enjoyable comparatively, it felt like. It's also during this fight that we learn why Armoros can only scream.
So you lost your voice when you fell. Pity.
When he fell with the other angels, he lost his voice. I guess bro must have bumped his head something fierce. After we beat Armoros, the quote-unquote true villain reveals himself while also holding the little girl Nana from earlier hostage. The girl gets sucked into this like purple darkness, and even though both Armoros and the Archangels warn Enoch to not dive in there, Enoch just fucking jumps in.
Leads to the darkness. You are not ready for it yet.
Well, it looks like he's jumping in. Looks like Armoros was trying to like stop us. Be like, bro, don't do it. Kinda looks like a fucking classic Miyazaki poison swamp.
Enoch, Enoch, Enoch. How could you dive into the darkness just to save a little girl? Okay, you're a nice guy, but still. What am I gonna do with you? Well, I think I know someone who'd be thrilled to get a shot at saving you.
What is that? Oh.
You gotta admit, the boy's got courage. What? Are you crying? Come on. Quit pretending to be human. You have no idea what it's like to be sad. If I go there, I'll be nothing more than a spectator. But if you were to go, you could show him your choice. Come on. He needs you.
Okay.
Given what's happened, we shall lend you our aid.
Oh, I didn't notice he had that in his hair. It almost looked like a cross, but it
You
was
don't
more like a
have to
T.
do this. But how about putting on the best show of your life?
Am I gonna play as Armoros now, or like what?
It'll be an experience to remember, Amoros. You're one step closer to being truly human.
Yeah, that's right. We can't play as Enoch for now. So we get to play as one of the Fallen, Armoros. It's kinda cool, and it kinda fucking sucks. On one hand, we get to play as a boss character, and I always find that cool. On the other hand, Mom, my fucking Hulk hands, no! Why can't this guy use them?
How could you, Mom? Tyler was gonna come over to play with my hoe cats. Fuck.
Jokes aside, the real thing that made Armoros's section not fun was the level's weird filter or overlay put on the camera. This whole thing is fucking ugly to look at. I wish the devs didn't put this on. The other levels kinda had overlays or filters, whatever, but this one bothers me. It's so in your face. It even does this really annoying thing where the screen flashes white and the filter is like even more apparent. It's just so fucking gross. So we're gonna skip to the important parts because I hated this level. Armoros and Lucifer find Nana asleep in the dark. That's right, this blinding white bullshit filter fuck-ass level is the dark. In the spirit of Ishtar, this glowing person reaches over and enters Nana's body, I guess. And we're also told the name of the true villain, Prince Belial. I think that Belial is this huge orb thing, but I'm also not sure. I could be wrong. I was half paying attention, and when I googled Belial in El Shaddai for this script, the wiki has a picture of this orb as him, so I don't know. Anyway, we suffer through this filter-heavy Snapchat bullshit and make it to Enoch, and the obvious has happened. You gotta fight Enoch. And I wish I could tell you the fight was fun. My fellow fat fuck nerds, hear me now! Have you ever played D&D with a power-hungry DM? The type of guy who will interrupt your sentence or idea with, okay, I hear you, but the boss does this, and he just has the boss do stuff that you can't interrupt? That's the Enoch boss fight. Every few seconds after landing some hits, the game will literally interrupt you so Enoch can hit the fucking Superman pose and change his stupid fucking helmet. What follows next is Belial being mad that I guess he can't have a little girl and a beautiful man to love. Drake! Sorry, I got a sudden cough. Lucifer makes sure to rescue Enoch, but leaves Armoros behind to be abused by Belial, and now we have to do the most boring part of the game. I fucking hated this section. Waiting for Enoch to recover from... Enoch must prove himself worthy to God and the Council again, battling his inner demons, his inner darkness, or what the fuck ever. All while stuck in the same thing they fucking froze Han Solo in. This equals to a hallway segment, beating the loiterers again, except instead of being a regular piece of shit cop, I'm one with a thin blue line tattoo. Then another hallway segment, then another hallway segment, then some combat, then more cutscenes of Nana waiting for Enoch to come back. And then some of the worst gaming sins, recycling bosses. For some reason, the game has us fighting Sariel again, which was... Oh my god, this fucking sucks! Not fun. This entire chapter of Enoch recovering from the vileness was infuriating, boring, it was stupid. While Enoch had pain in his heart and was recovering, the fallen angels were mobilizing an army. We see what I assume to be Ishtar's skull falling, and then I guess Lucifer talking to some dying dude, and this dying dude mistakes Lucifer for God. I think it's Sin, I'm not too sure. Either way, Lucifer doesn't care. Something about him being an angel and not knowing what humans feel like, I guess. There was a moment earlier where he's like belittling Armoros for crying, and Lucifer's like, "You're an angel, you don't know how to cry, because you're not human." So I can only assume that Lucifer doesn't give a fuck about anything emotionally wise. Whatever, man, I gave up years ago. Nana is walking amongst a corpse-decorated battlefield where she feels a skull. Maybe not Ishtar's, but one of the people rebelling against the Fallen. She tweaks out and suddenly Shazams herself into a grown-up Ishtar/Nana fusion. Nantar? Ishna? I don't know. You guys decide which fusion name sounds better. We then have to fight our evil version, and just like Azazel's big-ass trademark, we need to change up our weapons depending on what phase the stupid fucking helmet's in. As you can tell, I hated, absolutely loathed this fight. So we're gonna skip it. Fuck that fight. Fuck that helmet. BT dubs, I guess Belial is controlling this manifestation of Dark Enoch. Either that or I'm tripping. It says Belial's voice lines, I don't know why. Whatever, man, I give up. We see Nana/Ishtar in this cool cutscene where it's revealed that she can purify weapons too, and she's leading the rebels against the Fallen. Maybe in a perfect world where El Shaddai got, none of its content cut, maybe we could have played as Ishtar. I think that would have been cool. Anyways, I guess somewhere Sin, the leader of the rebels, died. Again, maybe he's the guy who died before Lucifer. I don't know. So while Ishtar, reanimated form, battles the fallen angel Ezekiel, we're chasing after Arakiel and his floor. I'll cut straight to the bone here. Ishtar argues and fights with Ezekiel, basically saying that humanity doesn't need to be led by the hand of fallen angels. Humanity, as God intended in this universe, I guess, will lead themselves choosing their own future. That's the consequence of free will, I suppose. Now, you may be wondering, hey Forehead, now that I, a super handsome and pretty viewer, think about it, we've only seen Sariel, Armoros, Azazel, and Ezekiel. What's up with that? Weren't there like 6 or 7 fallen angels? We know Barakel was eaten by his Nephilim, but, besides that, we haven't seen any other fallen angel. And you're right, it's strange. I think if we get out of the story and look at it from a game dev situation, again, this is a consequence of the game being unfinished and, I assume, rushed out. Even though there are 7 Grigori or fallen angels, we only see the 4 in the whole game. I'm saying this now because Arakiel's level is a boring, bland puzzle fest, where our reward is watching Ishtar and Ezekiel fight. We get to see this cube and a recycled giant pig boss fight. So, where's Arakiel? Well, he's fucking dead. Where else is he? The cube is like a memoriam thing. Lucifer also says his body's on an altar, but I didn't see it. Or maybe I missed it. Who cares? After the boss fight, we eventually make it to the end where we see Ishtar having Miyazaki Poison Swamp Syndrome, or MPSS for short. What a goofy run. What a goofy fucking run. Good lord, good heavens.
Alright. Go inside.
Do not make me use that arch. Do not make me use that arch. I fucking hate the arch. Yeah, go ahead. Do your... I guess I'm using the arch. Fucking purify. Who cares? Do the thing that's on the cover art, fella. It's just such a goofy fucking weapon. As you probably guessed, we have to pick up where Nana left and fight Ezekiel. Okay, second phase.
Ezekiel transformed into this weird Tim Burton monster where her top and bottom half can separate to do shit. I noticed there was this animal motif I think is going on with her second form, but to be honest with you, the only thing I put together was this mouth looking like a hippo's and this elephant trunk in the back. The fight felt like a half-baked avoid the stage hazard type of deal. Yeah, I'm over it. Uriel? In her final moments, Ezekiel calls out to her children. Children she sent to die by my hands, by the way. You're as bad as Sariel. We see Nana's Nephilim fade away to purgatory, and she gets up and follows us, I think. The final angels to take care of are Azazel still, and the leader Semyaza. But I did say earlier that we only see 4 angels, didn't I? Azazel explains while we explore Semyaza's floor that the fall down to earth was so painful and harsh on their bodies that Arakiel died during the fall. And because of that little tidbit of information, I'm gonna spoil the later part because it's so obvious. We learn in a later cutscene that Semyaza also died. It was only Azazel, Ezekiel, Sariel, Amaras, and Barakel who survived. Anyway, we fight Azazel and it goes how you expect it to by now. Azazel turns into what I think Game Freak would do for a bug legendary. You already know what happens. Oh yeah, we gotta fight Amaras now. After we beat up Amaras, Ishtar shows up and we finish off Amaras, who sadly looks like he dies a painful death even though he thanks Enoch. We purify Ishtar, which is kind of bonkers because I imagine if Enoch could do it now, he could have done it earlier when we first saw she had the Scarlet Rot, but hey, I'm not the Rise of the Metatron, this guy is, so what do I know? After we purify Ishtar, we walk towards Semyaza's life support system, which in reality is his grave. Lucifer snaps his fingers and just dips out along with Ishtar. After that, we're shown the tower basically dying and the stormy clouds disappearing. We finally made it. The end. As the desert is shown off, the archangels say that now humans are free again to make their own decisions, following the natural and slow road of evolution, and that they, the archangels, will always watch over them. Oh yeah, there's also an after credit scene that shows Amaras' Nephilim is still alive, which, you know, by the logic of this game, means Amaras is still alive. Which is cool, I guess, but yeah, that's the end of El Shaddai, Ascension of the Metatron. Overall, if I'm gonna be honest, it's the very definition of a mid-game. It's got a great art style, except for that one fuck-ass level. It's got great music, and the combat, looking back on it, was fun, it's just that fights took a little too long. But the way that things were presented story-wise confused me at times, and even though I just said the combat was fun, it was a bit repetitive, especially with the weird decisions that the game chose to take with having the main bosses of the game just randomly jump you while you're going through levels.
It got to a point, as you've seen, where I was tired of the game and needed constant breaks just to gather the motivation to finish it. But, as with all retro rematches we've done on the channel, I'm still glad I beat it. I think the positives this game has definitely outweighed the negatives it has. It is surely a one-of-a-kind game, even with all of its admittedly annoying warts. I sincerely doubt it, but if somehow Sawaki Takayasu watched this video, I hope you don't take offense to it. I appreciate your work, I think you do great stuff, but I really don't feel like sugarcoating stuff. Takayasu's studio, Cream, is still around, like I said in the beginning. If you want to support him, you can buy El Shaddai on Steam, and he has one other game called Star Knot, which is in early access, and it's only $8 at the time I'm writing this script. Life is a rough walk sometimes. No matter how well you place your steps, mud and dirt will just entrench itself into your souls. Just as pain will entrench itself into your soul. See what I did there? Okay, I'll get serious. Recently, as I'm writing this, it was the anniversary of my mom's death. As you can tell from the last retro rematch, my relationship with my mom was nothing short of rough. She made me feel stupid and ugly and overall like I'd be better off dead. But she also fed and clothed me. She stood up for me when teachers would accuse me of bullying others when I was the one being bullied. When my dad would stand in my doorway lecturing me for hours on how much of a failure I was, my mom would be the one to try and stop him. She stayed in an unhappy relationship so I could grow up with nice Christmases and happy birthdays. And she always tried gifting me with stuff because of my interests. I remember telling her that, overall I do like anime, and she caught me watching it a couple of times. And one day she randomly came home with an Attack on Titan lanyard that she got me. It's been years now, it's faded, and you can barely see the characters anymore. But it still holds my keys just fine. I don't need to say it was complicated. I'm sure that everyone's got that one relationship in their lives that's complicated. I always thought if I was a quote-unquote normal kid, whatever normal means, then my mom wouldn't be as unhappy as she was. If I played a sport, or if I wasn't fat, or if I didn't have anger issues, or felt so lonely that I bugged everyone around me to hang out with me. If I wasn't me, my mom wouldn't have drank, wouldn't have taken those pills. She wouldn't have died on the day after Valentine's. I don't know if there's a God. I don't know if there's a heaven or a hell. Sometimes the whole idea sounds ridiculous to me. But on days like this, where the rain only lasts the night, and leaves behind clouds softly floating around for you to find in the day, I think of her, and I hope she's somewhere better, somewhere where she can be happy. Despite the hurt, despite the fact that I can't look at the person in the mirror without feeling shame, I hope she's resting well. So why am I getting all personal with you now at the end of the video? What's the point of me getting all bummed out about my dead mom? Because El Shaddai reminded me of how my mom would pray, of how I would pray for better times. Sometimes it was a proper prayer using all the right words, and sometimes it was just quiet words under my breath. When things would get hard, I would just lower my head and whisper, "Please let this work out. Please let this work out." I'd be pleading with myself and God for things to work out, but it always felt like God was busy doing something else. I don't pray much anymore, but I do still hope. I hope for things to be better. I hope my friends are happy. I hope my family is safe. I hope the world won't burn itself when I wake up tomorrow. I hope the people I've pushed away can forgive me one day for what I've done. And I hope that one day life can feel worth living again. Hope can come from a lot of places. Maybe it's a god you believe in. Maybe it's friends and family. Or maybe it's watching the sun paint the sky in orange amber dusk as it sets. The peaceful goodbye of the light making you comfortable with the dark. I don't know how you'll find it, but so far I've noticed that most of the time when you need it, hope finds you. When you least expect it, hope comes along to reassure you that your pain means something. Most of the time, the pain just means you've survived. The fact that your body can bruise and your eyes can tear up means that you're still alive and here with us. It's happened enough to me that I think maybe there is a God. Or maybe through the process of trudging through the suck of marching through the bullshit, you eventually get to a better place. After all the roads with potholes and muddy waters, you'll eventually find that peaceful place you've been craving for all your life. It could be a smoothly paved mall parking lot. It could be a public park where the kids play baseball. Or it could be a dark movie theater where you whisper sweet nothings to someone who loves you. You could call it the better times. You could call it heaven. I don't know what it's gonna look like for you. But I do know that sometimes it feels like life is all about finding that place. And hope feels like the map leading you there. But the tricky part is that the only way to have hope find you, or for you to find hope, is to continue living even when it fucking sucks. I've thought about looking for my mom. This place in general can be so boring and miserable sometimes. But every time I think about giving up, hope finds me. And so I promise you, if you're in a rough spot right now praying for better times, I promise you, your prayers will be answered. It just takes time. It takes time for hope to find you. But on the bright side, you have all the time in the world. So live, even if it hurts, especially when it hurts. I promise hope will find you. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please comment something, leave a like, and if you want to keep up with me and my videos, please subscribe. My name is Forehead Weapon. My friends call me Katamari, and you can call me whatever you like. I hope that hope finds you. Keep on keeping on. I'll see you on the next one.